Good morning and welcome to this webinar where we're going to take a look at farm insurance, the most important reports that you can find in the Uniform program. Emma's with me, so she's going to kind of guide us through it. So which section would you like to look at first?
The farm insurance report.
Okay, so to get to that, not surprisingly, we go to the cow's head. We then go to special reports, and then we've got a whole section here now, farm insurance reporting. So things like the farm diary we can enter in feed that we've purchased, standard operating procedures, emergency action plans. The withdrawal report, this will come from the health section of your program, as will medicine usage. But this report here, we did cover it at the workshops, but I know some people aren't unaware of it. We try to put everything really just into the one place. So what you need to do first is go to properties. Okay, and then just define the date range. So if I just bring us up to today's date, okay, so you select that period here, and then what you need to do is just work through these codes. You only need to do this once, and then it will save it. And you select which codes you want to pull out. So for example, if you had foot trimming in here, well, that's obviously not lameness, that's just the standard thing. So make sure something like that's not ticked. So you select the items that you want, exactly the same for mastitis. So I can put in, for example, have we got some mastitis down here? Yes, we have. So I'm going to tick that as well. Say okay to that. Similar with milk fever, so make sure, yes, we've got that in, that's fine. Down to staggers, have we got that in? Yes, we have. And then finally, retained fetal membranes. And yep, we got that tick, so that's all good. So once you selected that, you can then say okay. And what it will then do is it will calculate here the total number of cases that you had within that period. So we can see basically, last recording date, the number of cows. And we then break it down to cases per 100 cows. So we have lameness, mastitis, and culling. Number of cows, the three main reasons that animals left the herd. So here we've got udder, low production, unfortunately 2 died. Any mortality, that will appear here. Mobility scores, and then, as I showed you, milk fever cases, staggers, RFMs, and the number of assisted calvings. So we then go through and we start looking at the fertility side, and we pull out average days to first service, conception rate, calving intervals. This is quite a tricky one, basically, to have to work out yourself. The number of females reaching the second calving, and then average lactation number. So I know in the past people are having to kind of go to different reports to pull all this information together. So what we've tried to do is just pull everything onto the one report, and then we pull out the milk quality for the last 12 months. So that's a new report. That's in farm insurance reporting, and it's the last report on that section. Okay.
So also for farm insurance reporting, we want to look at our medicine usage report.
Okay, so again, we go to the cow's head, we go to health and treatments, and then you've got sitting here medicine usage report. I know we always kind of go on about this, but if it's a report that you're going to use regularly, it's quite a good idea just to have it so that it's on the top. So to do that, just right click and then left click, add to toolbar, and there it is sitting there for future use. So if we go into here, this will show us basically any medicines that have been used, but also there's a really handy report where we can do the tally. So first of all, if I just go to properties, so again, just like I showed you on the farm insurance report, you can define the date range. So we'll just go back a little bit further. So whatever date range that you want to put in. So I say save settings, that's the period that I want to look at, so that's good. Then if I go to print preview, what you'll see here is just a breakdown of everything. But if you go to the last page, so this is the top left-hand side, and I'm just going to the last page of this report, you then get I think a very useful tally that shows you the total number of drugs that you've actually used in that period. So that was medicine usage, print preview, go to the last page, that should be fine.
I wondered if we could have a look at the culling analysis.
Yep. Okay, so if we go into either health and treatments or costings. You'll see sitting here, culling analysis. And again, with similar thing, if I go to properties, I can define the date range, the number of periods that I want to look at. So I'm saying this is my end date. I want to look at the last 12 months. You can then set it in different ways. You can have it weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And what you've got basically is a breakdown of the number of cows here that were actually sold, and then the cows that died. But then at the top, you can then start breaking it down by the reason. And you'll see here, you also have the option to include young stock. So you can include those in, or you can take those out. You then have, oh, one other thing I should say, actually, I had a call on this recently. Yeah, that's right. I was looking at a data set and I could see the figures were way too low. I was trying to work out, okay, why so few cows being culled? Just be aware, I've just explained you've got the date range here, but you've also got reasons. And this farmer, basically, for whatever reason, I'm not quite sure why, somebody had gone in here and had ticked one of these items. So those cows that would be sold for that particular reason were not coming up. So just make sure that you've got the right items here. Everything is selected. Otherwise, it's not going to come up on the report. Okay, so that was in properties and the reasons. So here we can see a breakdown, the percentage of the total, the average age, average kilograms of milk. We can even break it down by days in milk when they actually went, by age. So here we can see the average age going. And you can also show that graphically. So we've got the reasons sitting here. Obviously, each dot is a color. That's the status of the cow when she was sold. And then you can break it down by lactation number, or then specific problems. It's easy for me to say, apparently not. So you can see, okay, when did they die? How many days in milk were they? And so on. So culling analysis is an important part of the program.
So, Graham, in the culling analysis, I see you've got the reasons there.
Yep.
Are they what's built into the program, or is that something that we can manage as customers?
That's a very good question, Em. And I like the way you dropped that one on me without warning me you're about to do it. But you're getting next webinar we do reverse roles. Okay, if you go into movement codes here, and actually it's a really good point. You've got your purchase codes here, but you've also got sale codes here. So it's very, very easy for you to go in and create a new sale code. So if you want to break it down for analysis and take it further, then you can do that. You can edit an existing one, or if you want to do that, I'm not quite sure what exterior is, but if you edit there, you can change it. Or you can create a brand new code, and that then becomes a reason for the animals being sold. Similarly, you can create new codes for died as well. So that's totally flexible for the user. Try not to have too many codes. Sometimes we see it where it's completely crazy, and they've got things like fell down a hole and stuff like that. Okay, I appreciate that can happen, but in terms of aggregating data, that's quite important, so we can actually see the reasons animals are going. So try to keep the reasons as kind of as simple as you can, basically. Okay, next question.
I know it's not necessarily farm assurance, but is there any way that I can get a breakdown of my herd by age? So like 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6, as an overview?
You certainly could do if you went into stock check. And we are actually changing this report slightly. We did look at doing this a little bit more for end of year. I think the previous report that we had actually gave you slightly more flexibility perhaps, so we will be bringing that one back at a future date. But anything like that, you'll find this all in you guys know this already, you've got stock check, herd size per month, animal movements and movement summaries. Stock check is the answer to the question there.
Brilliant.
Okay, farm assurance, we know, it's a really, really important subject. We will be sending this out as a movie that will go out tomorrow, correct?
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, really hope that you can just give us a call and we'll try and talk you through it. Also, there'll be a really short summary at the end of this webinar. If you could it's only 2 questions. If you could just take the time just to say yes, whether you found it helpful or not. We'll just go across now and have a look and see if we've got any questions coming in.
So if you do have any questions, you can type them in now and we can address them. Oh.
And if you can't find out where to type them in, then please just give us a call, after this webinar, and we'll try our best to help.
Okay, so we don't have any questions. Your invite to next week's webinar will be sent out by the end of tomorrow. So do check your emails. Sometimes they do go into your junk mailbox. And yeah, the videos will also be sent out by email and also posted onto our website and our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Okay, hopefully you found that helpful. We'll soon find out if you didn't, I guess. So yeah, look forward to speaking with you next week.